The Green New Deal, hailed as the future of clean energy or exposed as a dangerous economic trap, Donald Trump has never held back on what he really thinks about it, and today we're diving deep into the truths he revealed that the media won't tell you. From skyrocketing costs to government control, we're breaking it all down right here on Cash Calls. 1. The Green New Deal is extremely expensive. One of Trump's biggest arguments against the Green New Deal is its enormous cost. Estimates suggest that implementing the plan could cost anywhere from $10 trillion to $93 trillion over a decade. Trump has repeatedly emphasized that such a price tag is not just unrealistic, but also a massive burden on taxpayers. He argues that funding the GND would require unprecedented tax increases, which would hurt businesses and middle-class Americans. Additionally, Trump has pointed out that even if the government were to implement the deal in phases, it would still increase national debt to unsustainable levels. He claims that rather than focusing on a single costly program, the U.S. should invest in more cost-effective energy solutions that don't rely entirely on government intervention. The staggering financial commitment required for the GND is one of the primary reasons Trump believes it is impractical. 2. It would eliminate millions of jobs in traditional energy sectors. Trump has warned that the Green New Deal would destroy millions of jobs in the fossil fuel industry, particularly in coal, oil, and natural gas. The plan calls for transitioning to 100% renewable energy, which means many existing energy jobs would become obsolete. Trump has argued that workers in these industries would be left without viable alternatives, as not all of them can simply transition into solar or wind energy jobs. While Green New Deal supporters claim that it would create new jobs in renewable energy, Trump argues that these jobs may not pay as well or be as stable as traditional energy sector jobs. He has frequently pointed out that places like Texas, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, which rely heavily on oil, gas, and coal, would suffer greatly under the plan. He believes that a more balanced approach, one that includes fossil fuels alongside renewables, is necessary to protect American jobs. 3. The Green New Deal could lead to higher energy costs. Trump has claimed that the GND would significantly increase energy prices for American households and businesses. The transition to 100% renewable energy would require heavy investments in new infrastructure, and those costs would likely be passed on to consumers. Unlike fossil fuels, which have established supply chains, renewable energy sources like wind and solar require massive government subsidies to remain competitive. In his speeches, Trump has frequently pointed to countries like Germany, where aggressive green energy policies have led to skyrocketing electricity prices. He argues that Americans could face similar consequences if the GND is fully implemented. Higher energy costs would not only affect households, but also drive up manufacturing and business expenses, potentially forcing companies to outsource jobs to countries with cheaper energy costs. 4. It gives the government too much control over the economy. Trump has often criticized the Green New Deal as a massive government overreach that goes beyond environmental concerns. He argues that the deal would give the federal government too much power over industries, businesses, and private property. The GND proposes significant regulations on energy use, construction, transportation, and even agriculture, sectors that are currently driven by market demand rather than government control. Additionally, Trump has pointed out that the GND includes progressive social policies, such as universal health care and guaranteed jobs, which have little to do with climate change. He believes that these measures show that the Green New Deal is not just an environmental plan, but rather a radical restructuring of the U.S. economy under government control. 5. The plan is based on unrealistic timelines. A major criticism Trump has made about the Green New Deal is that its goals are unrealistic within the proposed timeline. The GND calls for the U.S. to achieve net zero emissions within 10 years, a goal that Trump and many experts say is impossible. Transitioning the entire country away from fossil fuels would require new technology, massive infrastructure changes, and complete cooperation from industries and the public, all in a short period. Trump has pointed out that even the biggest environmental advocates struggle to meet these goals. California, for example, has pushed for green energy policies, but still experiences power shortages and blackouts. He argues that if a single state cannot manage a full green transition, then expecting the entire country to do so in just a decade is completely unrealistic. 6. It could lead to more dependence on China. Trump has warned that the Green New Deal could make the U.S. more dependent on China, particularly for renewable energy technology and rare earth minerals. China currently dominates the global market for solar panels, wind turbines, and lithium-ion batteries, all essential components of a green energy transition. By forcing the U.S. to move away from domestic fossil fuels, the GND could shift America's energy dependence from one source, oil and gas, to another, Chinese-made green technology. Trump has long argued that the U.S. should prioritize energy independence, meaning the ability to produce its own energy resources without relying on foreign countries. Under the Green New Deal, he claims that the U.S. would be at the mercy of China's supply chain, which could be a major national security risk. 7. It would change the way Americans travel. The Green New Deal calls for major changes in transportation, including reducing car use and investing in high-speed rail. Trump has argued that this would limit personal freedom by forcing Americans to rely on public transportation instead of driving. He believes the government should not dictate how people travel, and that these policies would hurt rural communities that rely on cars. Additionally, the GND calls for phasing out gas-powered cars in favor of electric vehicles, EVs. Trump has pointed out that EVs are still expensive and require charging infrastructure that is not widely available. If Americans are forced to transition to EVs too quickly, it could create economic hardship for those who cannot afford them. 8. It threatens the agriculture industry. Trump has frequently warned that the Green New Deal would negatively impact farmers. The plan includes reducing carbon emissions from agriculture, which would mean restrictions on livestock farming and fertilizer use. Farmers rely on modern agricultural techniques to produce food efficiently, and Trump argues that these restrictions would make farming more expensive and less productive. Additionally, the GND's push for plant-based diets and reductions in meat consumption could hurt cattle ranchers and meat producers. Trump has accused the plan of being anti-farmer, saying that it ignores the realities of food production and threatens America's food security. 9. The public was misled about what it includes. Trump has argued that many Americans do not fully understand the full scope of the Green New Deal. While it is often promoted as an environmental policy, it also includes social programs like free healthcare, universal basic income, and job guarantees. He believes these additional policies show that the GND is about expanding government power rather than just addressing climate change. Trump has pointed out that if the Green New Deal was purely about clean energy, it would focus on technology and innovation rather than socialist policies. By exposing these hidden elements, he has made the case that the GND is a radical economic plan disguised as an environmental policy. 10. There are better, more practical alternatives. Finally, Trump has argued that there are better ways to address climate change without the extreme measures of the Green New Deal. He has supported natural gas, clean coal, nuclear power, and technological innovations as more practical solutions. He believes the balanced approach is key to protecting both the environment and the economy. Instead of rushing into expensive and disruptive policies, Trump has advocated for market-driven solutions that encourage businesses to innovate without excessive government control. He argues that the best way forward is one that prioritizes energy independence, economic growth, and technological advancements over radical policy shifts. So, what do you think? Is the Green New Deal a necessary step toward the future, or is it as disastrous as Trump says? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe button, and turn on notifications.